Hello everyone, this is Alex Winfield and this is episode 5 of Showreel. With me, I'm joined by the producer of my new film From Far Away, Charlie. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. You know, long time no see. Long time
no see since our lecture earlier, but
yeah.
Long time no see indeed.
Okay, so yeah, this episode we're going to talk about the making of our FMP.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, Charlie, introduce us a bit. So tell us who you are, why you like film, where you'd like to go in the filmmaking world in the future.
Well, I'm Charlie. I'm the producer on From Far Away. I've worked with Alex for a few years now. We met in first year. I don't know. I've done film for a fair few years now. Mostly filmmaking, rather than film studying. And where do I want to go with it? I really don't know. In front of the camera, behind the camera, who knows? See where the wind takes us.
Because I remember you starting uni wanting, behind the camera, but then you realised you liked acting more.
Indeed.
Which should be interesting because when I wrote this film back in 2017, you were originally going to be playing the main character.
I was meant
to be. And then you left me.
I was meant to be playing the character of Ben, who the main protagonist in the film. But it got to the point where I thought if I wanted to look back on something at uni is the best thing I've ever made, I don't want to just see my ugly mug there. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to step behind the camera for this one and make the best film I can.
So we've done 5 days, five film days. We've got 1 day
Indeed.
left, but that should be a very short one since we're only doing 2 scenes. But what was your takeaway from it all? What have you learned from doing this film shoot that you could put into other film shoots?
Organisation is key, especially as a producer. You should be a lot more organised. You should know what you're doing when, which day, who, what, where, why, how, everything like that.
I think this was our best organised film yet.
It was, but even for a student film, it could be better. But compared to some of the films I've made in the past, it was very, very organised.
Yeah. So let's go back to the beginning of how this whole thing started. This was an idea that I came up with in about August 2017, where over summer, between first and second year of uni, I was just writing down weird scripts and stuff like that, one of which ended up becoming the film Reflection. And then another one was this film called Reach, which was about a father and a son that were like trying to reconnect after 10 years by going on a camping trip. So originally the whole thing was set in a forest. And yeah, I submitted that and that got a pretty high mark. So when it came to thinking of ideas for the FMP during second year, I had some ideas rattling around in my head, and then I realised, oh wait, this script got a good grade. It's already been written. It's I don't want to say easy to make, but it doesn't have a huge cast needed or anything. I said, why don't we just make this? And then originally it was just going to be just me that was going to be producing, directing and all of it, because I'm a bit insane.
Passionate, probably more.
And then I wanted to document the making of it. So that's why in June I started making a movie series on YouTube, which you can watch right now on this channel if you're watching this on YouTube. And that was the writing process. And again, back then in the first episode, it was all set in a forest. And then I sent you the script, and then you said the idea of maybe changing it to another location.
This was summer 2018.
Yeah.
When I came on board, and then I came on board as a producer.
But then after that, I then made the whole thing set in a city, and there was going to be more characters. It was going to be longer. It was going to be much more of almost like I don't want to say a crime drama, but it did almost
on the edge of a thriller.
Yeah. And then I remember speaking to my tutor for it, who was also the tutor for the script, and she was saying how she really liked the idea of it being all in a forest, and I told her how, being all in a forest, it makes it feel very studenty, because it feels
very
like
cliche, very...
Yeah, because you don't really have to like try very hard to get any locations or anything like that. You don't have to set up any lights or anything, so it feels very cheap almost, like you're not really challenging yourself. So I came up with the idea of mixing the two, and that resulted in the script that ended up being shot just a few days ago. So yeah, and it was an interesting process. We were initially going to be the first people to shoot RFMP. It was originally going to be shot in October because the whole thing was going to be set in summer. I remember that being a thing.
We still wanted the nice warm orange leaves and the golden sun still, but that didn't happen, did it?
But luckily we get the magic of colour correction. You can always achieve that. But
it went from wanting a nice summer shoot to a very gloomy, miserable grey overcast shoot, which also works.
I think that definitely worked, especially for when doing in the city sort of areas. And then we had our cast by the end of October, and we did rehearsals in the beginning of November, and we were going to start filming on November 23rd. We were going to do 4-5 shoot dates, like almost back to back in November, and that was going to be the entire thing. We had the whole thing planned out and everything, but then one of our cast members, there was like some scheduling problems with them and all that, and we were constantly having to wait for replies and all that, and eventually we had to let that actor go, and we brought in Charlie Hellard, who I've worked with on Reflection.
And I've worked with him twice on 2 other smaller films, so we've both had experience with this guy. So it was, we trusted that he was going to be professional and responsive and worked well on set and take direction well, mostly.
Definitely. And so we brought him in about mid January, did rehearsals late January, and then started filming a week later. So our first shoot day was back in November, because we were like, we're going to still shoot anyway, even though like all the plans ended up going out the window. We still wanted to start filming something, so we shot all the days with our main actor, Will, who's a very nice chap.
He is a very nice chap.
He's a very nice chap. That was interesting, because that was 2 years of working on this thing, and then you finally started writing the thing, and it went really well. And then the second day, that's when second day was the most, what I like to think, the most student shoot day
Definitely.
possibly to have ever happened ever. Where it's like we turned up immediately. I'm nervous because it's like, okay, God, how's this gonna go? And then we turn up, and it's so windy. It's so windy, you couldn't even hear anything. And
everyone's getting cold. There's dogs running around this park. There's
and then
a guy with a leaf blower somewhere.
Yeah. So we started filming, and then we set up, and we're like, okay, we're good to film. And then you just hear this aggressive like
in the background
of that from this lawnmower, and then I'm like, okay. So we tried filming something. We were like, okay, maybe we could film the scene in between blows of air from this lawnmower, and then we were like, nah, that's not gonna happen. So we moved over to the next field where and by the time we moved all the equipment over, the blowing had then stopped, and we got there, and then the sun came out.
Yeah, the sun kept going in and out behind clouds, so the lighting levels kept changing. 1 minute it's really bright and overexposed, then the next is really gloomy and dark.
So I remember looking at the footage, and the continuity was very hard to match shots. Like, for example, there were some shots where it went from grey to sunny, but the camera would be really shaky or something like that. And then we went to go do another scene after that, which was set on a bench, and then we got 2 shots in. I wanted to get 4 or 5 angles, and we got 2 shots in, and then it started pouring down with torrential rain.
Then all the continuity's out the window because everyone's wet. The ground's wet, the bench is wet. We're all cold from the wind.
And yeah, so we then, I think, and then our actor for the dad, Charlie Hellard, he then had to go because he had like a doctor's appointment, which was fine. We had already planned the day around it. Then we got food, had to wait for the rain to stop. We then had to travel to a river to shoot by a river, and we pulled up into the car park, which is at the end of this hill, and it's completely full, like completely full. So we're like, oh, okay. So we then had to come out and do almost like half a mile to this other secluded sort of car park. We parked in there, then had to walk what felt like half a mile to a mile through this sort of damp sort of wilderness area, and we get to this forest. We get to this river. We set up, and everyone's ready to go. We turn the camera on. We're about to go, and action, and then the camera dies, and we're just like,
great.
Yeah, and then the battery dies, and everyone's just kind of like, "Oh, are we kidding now?" And at that point, I was both.
I think we'd all given up at that point. It was
We were
like,
both
great,
emotionally, just cancel the film.
this
It's
day's been
doomed.
yeah.
It's doomed. It's not meant to be.
Let's just all go home and have a little cry. It's just not worth it anymore. But I think that whole day kind of really set the tone for the rest of the next few days, because I think we all learned from the mistakes from that day. So we were more prepared for the sun, the rain. We knew what parts of the fields were quieter. We knew that there were maybe less people doing work, such as the guy with the leaf blower or lawn mower or whatever he was doing. And I think from after that day, it was more of a reality check. So we sort of knew, right, these are the things that could go wrong. And I think we managed to avoid them all somehow for each next day that we shot.
Yeah, the next few days were very, they went a lot smoother. So the next day, we were going to go film the shoot on Friday that we're going to be doing was meant to be day 2, but because there was torrential rain that day, we were like, okay, we'll push day 3 to day 2, we'll push day 2 to next week. Day 3 will now be potentially pick up shots for what we did on day 1. So we almost had to redo day 1 again. And then, so yeah, day 2 comes around and we're there. That's the longest shoot day. We were there for 12 hours in total. That was
in this cramped little house with all of us
with no
working around each other,
open,
sweating,
no open windows.
Yeah,
smelled delightful, and
the heat from all the equipment and.
So yeah, we get in and immediately after the first day, everyone's just a bit dead. Everyone's just a bit like, oh.
Everyone's not in the mood at 8-9 in the morning to set up a tripod or anything.
And Will, my actor, who he came and stayed at my house for 4 nights, he was sleeping on my sofa bed. So what was weird was that his bedroom almost was the room that everyone kind of hung out in.
Unit based to say.
Yeah, then day 2, and then the original structure for day 2 then changed like drastically. Remember how we were going to shoot the scene order for day 2 almost changed quite a lot, because we shot the first scene fine, and then scene 2 was when we had our makeup artist Simona come in to do a scar on our main actor's shoulder, and I completely forgot how long it takes to do something like that, because that was about 2 hours of work. So a lot of it, there was a good hour when we were just kind of sat around the house not really doing anything, just being like, okay, any minute now, and then we realized how long it was going to take, so we shot another scene with Charlie where it was just him. Our actor Charlie, that was another confusing thing. We had you Charlie, then we had actor Charlie. So I'd be like, Charlie, and then like immediately both of you would turn around. And we also had 2 Alexes on some shoot days as well. So we shot that, and then but I think that day went pretty smoothly though overall. It was a lot of scenes, but there weren't really any complications or anything that went really wrong or anything like that. What was it? I said that was the day we shot the big confrontation scene. And I genuinely thought we were going to get like the police knocking at the door for like a domestic something. I don't know, because the amount of shouting.
Phoning up, so what's going on?
The amount of shouting we did, and I was trying to I was like almost praying for them to get it right, because I didn't want to have to do it from I didn't want to get that many takes of it from each angle, because I felt like the more shouting, the higher chance someone would come knocking at the door or something.
Trying to record sound of that scene was a nightmare, because the scene starts off very, very simply. They're just having a conversation, and then it suddenly picks up, and the peaking on the sound was so hard not to monitor as a sound recordist, and doing it again and again. But eventually you work out that you record the sound from as close to them as you can, and then as soon as they shout, you suddenly move the mic away and you try to adjust the thing. But I'm glad we didn't do it that much.
And then day three after that one, that was almost like complete reshoot day. So you reshot everything from day 1 basically.
All the park stuff, all the river stuff where we lost the battery, and any other small shots we could think of.
But that day 1, that park shoot was interesting, because not only I think it looks better, but I mean there was that one thing that I lost faith in humanity.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Where it's like we're doing this wide shot where there's both of them. There's two people there. Will and Charlie, my 2 actors, and there's this jogger.
We saw him coming from a while away. We're like, "Here, there's a jogger coming, everyone, be careful."
And he could clearly see us and what we were doing.
He's running up the edge of the park, and then he turns right and starts running towards us, and we're like, "Oh no, here he comes!"
And it's like
he's
clearly
go behind us.
He has to go behind us. Like he can clearly see what we're doing.
There was a big space.
There was a massive space that he could go behind us. And immediately you could hear on the audio, I'm like, is this guy about to walk in front of the camera? And then he full on, like, we're doing a scene with some almost like an emotional thing is happening, and this jogger just jogs completely in front of the camera. And what I'm just amazed by is, like, if you were in a park and you saw like 6 or so people, and they've got a big black magic camera with them.
High-vis jackets on.
High-vis jackets, a boom pole with a microphone on it, and someone's going, action, and you're seeing 2 people in front of said camera talking. What made you think it's like, yeah, I'll just
go run over near them, that'll be fine.
But it's like, that guy clearly knew what he was doing.
He went straight through the middle and just nodded, like, with a big smile on his face.
And that was the moment when I was like, you know what, maybe humanity should be wiped out by AI. I don't know. What else did we do on day 3? Yeah, day 3 we went and did that river scene.
Mm-hmm.
We had to march through a field of cows.
We did.
And our sound girl was freaking out a bit, which was quite...
She was.
Yeah. Even then, I was freaking out before because we couldn't find anywhere to park.
Yeah.
We were
driving around for a good 20 minutes.
And then we ended up pulling up in front of we ended up parking in a pub. In the car park, no, actually in the pub.
In the bar.
But then after that shoot, though, I think we needed it. So I remember you saying, oh, yeah, let's go get a drink, whatever. I just turn up. I ended up not actually getting anything. And then you're gone for like a minute. You come back, you've got like 2 half-pint sized Jaeger bombs. And what was it, like a bottle of cider and all that kind of stuff? So you're thinking, okay, so the next shot we're going to be doing, like the camera's going to be like slanted.
It's going to be, yeah.
Shaking about.
A DOP Ryan's trying to focus it, but he's a little bit drunk, so he can't quite get the focus.
The whole thing's out of focus.
Yeah, but the only reason to get a drink was because we parked in the car park. We thought, if we're parking here, we should probably get a drink just to... So we're, patrons and all that. But yeah, we also filmed the hallway scene on that day.
We did, yeah. We also did a shot which I thought could have backfired horribly, which was the scene in my bedroom where it's all night with the lighter and all that. And I was like, that's going to be grainy as hell when I look at it, but it actually turned out pretty well. And then it was day 4, which was arguably the biggest day, I think. When it comes to just what, like... Oh,
logistically, yeah. What we were trying to achieve, shot-wise and location-wise, yeah.
And that, I fully expected that day to go on, like, 2 hours after the call sheet time. And we ended up finishing half an hour early somehow. I think it's because after we got the car and all that, because that we were filming in a car. We had more cast members. The shots were going to be trickier.
We were filming on a road, it wasn't a busy road, but... plenty of cars coming down it still. We're filming in and outside a car, outside a house. And
there was one part, one of my I think it might be my favourite shot that we got was when Will is running towards the camera, and the way we achieved it was I probably shouldn't be saying this, but then
it's against the highway code, really.
I had to get in my car, and then I had Matt Keane, who was our sound recorder for the day, in the passenger seat. The boot was then open, and Ryan, the camera guy, was in the boot, and with the boot open, just filming this shot, and I was going about 10 miles an hour. And Will was just sprinting down. But I remember, every time I had to like turn a corner, Ryan would be flung across the boot, just being like, whoa! But, we got so many weird looks from people. Many weird looks. Especially, I remember, was it you who got told off because you were standing near a caravan?
Yeah, well, I was doing clapperboard and all that on that shoot. So Ryan's got the camera pointing out the back of the car. The car sat in the middle of the road, ready to drive. Will's on the driveway, just outside the shop, ready to run, like he's run out of the house. So I've clapperboard, ran out the way, my high-vis jacket, like shouting, like action, go, before traffic. And then car's driven off, Will's ran off, doing the scene, and I was just standing on this on the path outside this house, waiting for the car to eventually come back round and the end of the take. And suddenly this front door opens, and there's some old woman there saying, "Can you get off my property, please? And you're annoying the dog," or something like that. And I was just like, Sorry, what? Sorry. But I wasn't. I was on the path. I wasn't on her property. But just put your dog in the other room. We're trying to make cinema magic over here. But no, I got a little telling off. So sorry, had to just move away and be a little bit quieter. But food-wise, we had some good meal deals and some good McDonald's and some other various cheap student.
Yeah, we filled our cast out with real nice healthy foods such as chocolate brioches,
mini rolls,
bars, mini rolls,
crisps.
McDonald's crisps. I think maybe there was one.
I think it was the fourth day. I thought I should buy some oranges or some satsumas.
We had one,
which went down a storm surprisingly, because I thought no one would like them, but everyone had one. So.
But now we've shot the thing. Well, not all of it. We still got 2 more scenes left.
80% of it, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say even potentially.
All the hard stuff's done. All the technical shots, the dialogue heavy scenes.
So when it comes to was it easier or harder than you thought it would be?
It was a bit of both. It was easier because we were very prepared. We knew what we were doing, what day. We had schedules. All the cast members knew all their lines very well. They'd all rehearsed. Crew knew their roles and they all helped out wonderfully. But it was also harder because the weather. You can't control the weather. You can't control, the public. Well, you can if you had the money and the I don't know, the permission from the government, not the government, the council will say to close off areas of roads, close off areas of the park. But no, it's definitely one of the more enjoyable film shoots I've done at my time as a filmmaker.
And it's good that we've kind of almost got it out there, because this thing isn't like due in until the end of April. So we've got time to almost breathe a bit now.
Yeah.
But I remember before leading up to shooting, we were trying to think of things that we could like add in script wise. For example, like the colours characters are wearing. So the Luke character played by Charlie is often seen wearing blue. That's similar, the sadness and the regret and all that his character's feeling. The Will character, it's more sort of blatant. He's wearing black and white. Black when he's. Well, actually, I won't give it away.
Ooh, almost dropped a spoiler there.
And then the Alexandra character, the mother character, she's wearing red to symbolise the anger that she's feeling towards the Luke character and all that. But yeah, I remember this went through so many drafts. I feel sorry for Ryan, the DOP, because I sent him draft after draft after draft of it. It's crazy seeing how different this script is now compared to what it was even
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Because there's definitely some stuff I've kept. Like I wanted to keep the forest in some way, so it's included in there. It's not all just set in a city. But then there's other stuff like there are certain dialogue scenes which I have kept exactly the same from the beginning. From the very first draft to now.
So, as a director yourself, has the artistic vision over the project, and working with Ryan as DOP, how do you feel the shots have come out compared to what you had in your mind when you write the script and your storyboarding? Do you think it's as you wanted, better, worse?
It's interesting. It's definitely weird because these characters were just in paper form for like the longest time. So seeing them actually acted out is very weird. But what's also strange is that whenever you're writing anything, you've always got like a character like look in mind when you're writing each role. And the two characters we've gone with, Luke and the Ben character, look identical to how I was storyboarding them and everything. The storyboarding process took months. Most of it, I wasn't doing it like all the time, but that took a very long time. It's pretty much a lot of the time. I mean, apart from certain shots, as you've always got to compromise. But it's almost pretty much exactly how I pictured it.
Good.
Which is good, nice. Which is, it's good. I mean, there's definitely certain things I'd probably maybe do differently, or maybe like certain things differently now looking at the footage. But it's pretty almost identical. Now it's got to just get a good composer and all that in. Got to start working on an edit, because this thing has to be. I think it's got to be 15 minutes. Although I think it could go over, but I'm not too sure. We'll see. I think the cast really killed it. I think they really did a good job, especially when we were doing all the interior scenes and all that kind of stuff. I think they did a really good job.
It came so natural to them. The chemistry between them as well. They were bouncing off each other just like a normal family would.
But I remember being beyond stressed because this is like, our final project. I remember being very, very not.
It's essentially our dissertation if another course has a 12,000 word dissertation or something, but this is our big thing that we do at uni, our final.
Yeah, because it's not even. I wasn't stressed really that much when we were actually filming. It was the thought of it leading up to it, being just like, am I gonna? You always start questioning yourself, your skills.
Will this work? Will this happen? Won't. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Because you don't want to put like 2 years into it, cut it together, and then like no festival wants to see it. But I from what I've seen, I think I'm pretty proud of what we've got. I think it looks good. Definitely, it looks good, and I'm very excited about it because we don't know where this could potentially go. If people receive it well, it could really lead somewhere. It really could. Because we also did a GoFundMe for the film where we raised £600, and that's all gone towards pretty much just paying for the actors' travel
expenses and
food and all that kind of stuff. And that if anything left over, if we even have anything left over,
won't. Of course we won't. Always go over budget.
Yeah, that'll go to festival entries and all that kind of stuff. What about you? So how do you think it went overall as the producer person? When you were on set, what was your vibe?
Well, good and bad in parts. I mean, as a producer, my main role is to make sure that it's delivered on time, delivered professionally, and everything's put together in the most professional way we can. So, I mean, bad thing is that we didn't get it done as we originally scheduled back last year in November. So we didn't deliver it on time back in November like we planned. So we had to postpone it till this year, of course. So as a producer point perspective, maybe that's something that I should improve upon next time. But production-wise on set, cast and crew all worked well, took direction well. They all turned up on time. We had all the equipment that we needed. That was always working well. So moving forward now, I've got to overlook the edit, make sure the edit's done nicely, delivered on time as well. But it's definitely the most professional thing that I've worked on in my time at uni, and it's definitely probably the thing I'll look back I'll be most proud of.
It's just so weird though, because it's like, I remember when we were in our first year, we worked on an FMP, just kind of helped out.
Wow.
And that was in must have been like March 2017.
I did two. When I was in first year, I did 2 third year FMPs, and I remember them being stressed and them giving me some advice of how they've managed. And I think that if I hadn't have done that, that would have changed how I would have done this one massively.
But it's weird though, because it's like I remember FMP when they mentioned it. It almost sounded like you had to make like Jurassic Park or something.
Yeah, you had to make big budget blockbuster feature film.
Honestly, yeah. I remember the idea of it being so nervous, like the FMP, like it has to be this big thing. Yeah, pretty much. And I remember
biggest thing you'll do at uni.
I remember even at the beginning of second year, people asking. I remember tutors going, "Oh, so have you started writing your FMP?" And I'm like,
"What?"
And at the time, I didn't know I was going to do this little script thing as my FMP. It was just something that I wrote. So I remember, really freaking out. So the fact that we've now not only written and planned it, but we've shot it is very weird.
We are, Time has flown by.
Yeah, and then we got pretty much 2 months left here, and then we're out in the free world,
the big scary world of life.
You don't even really realise the experience and all that you've learned, and just your skills in general, how much they've grown. Like 3 years ago, I wouldn't know what a white balance is.
No, I wouldn't. I only knew a few months ago, if I'm honest.
Or just even like what shutter speed, or what a call sheet is, or any of that.
Yeah, everything.
So it feels like you've had this almost like this knowledge forever, but then you think back on it, and it's all like really recent. I
remember in A level when I had to make a short film, and it was just one little DSLR and a tripod. We had no lights, no call sheets, no crew really. It's just me with a camera saying, right, you could do this, I'll do some funny camera angle.
What drew you to filmmaking?
Oh, I really don't know. I think I had to pick my GCSEs, my subjects I wanted to study, I think media studies was one of the options, and I thought that just kind of looked interesting. I'm not going to say that I've loved film for my whole life, because I don't know if I have. I mean, I remember watching films when I was younger. But I think studying from GCSE media studies, I had a fantastic teacher who taught me through GCSE and then through A-level. And I think it just grew and grew and grew through that. And then by the end of doing film studies at A-level, I thought university film production. Definitely the practical side though. So I did a fair amount before uni. So I made 1 or 2 short films. But I really wanted to get into, operating cameras and directing and everything. It's like you're in this bubble when you're on a film set, and everyone's working collaboratively, everyone's working towards the same goal, and then when you go home that evening, it's like that bubble's been popped, and it's like back to reality. I'm no longer in the film set.
And what's crazy is that it's like, this was just 4 days, and I was knackered.
Yeah.
And there are people who do this for like every day for like 3 months.
6 a.m. starts and
from
stuff.
like for 3 or so months, and I'm just like, wow. How? Teach me.
Teach us. Show us the way.
But
it's we're working our way up. Everything I've done, each film's got better and better in terms of how I've produced it, how I've worked on it, how I've worked with other people, how camera editing and all that.
Well, you've got 2.
I do.
You've got 2 cameos in this film as 2 different people.
Exactly. That's my range of acting there. Although I don't say anything, and you don't really see my face at all in either shot. Because one shot I've got a...
You could feel your presence.
Yeah, one shot I've got a thing off my face. The other shot is the back of my head. But I'm there. I'll get a credit. So
yeah. I think that's pretty much it then for this episode. Where can the people find you? What's your social media names? Or one of them?
My one Instagram at Charlie A. Warren.
And is it all lowercase?
All lowercase.
All very nice.
I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere.
Cool. Yeah, my social media links are Alex C. Winfield on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn if you really want to get fancy and businessy.
LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, LinkedIn. All right. That's it for episode 5 of Showreel. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you listened to us just like waffle on about the making of this film.
I look forward to sharing it with you eventually.
Yeah, same. It was a very interesting experience. I don't want to say life-changing. I feel like that's too
No, it wasn't life-changing. It was
eye-opening. I think.
Yeah, a little reality check into how collaborative and far filmmaking can go.
All right. Well, that's it for episode 5. We'll speak to you all next week. Say bye, Charlie.
Bye.